What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Double tap ammo time, 450 SMC time. On the last video, number 2 for 450 SMC, we had the 200 grain bonded defense rounds. That's a cool video, you should definitely check it out. But now we have the 230 grain bonded defense rounds that we're gonna try. And some of you might be wondering, what is 450 SMC? Well, if you know anything about 45 Super, just think of it as a small primer version of it that supposedly can handle a little bit more pressure. But the bottom line is you have a 45 ACP, sometimes you step that up to a 45 plus P, but if you go farther than that, you generally go into the 45 Super or 450 SMC zone. We have an Ammo Test Series for 45 Super, but we also have one separately for 450 SMC, since some people seem to think that they're different, which they are just a hair different. But the bottom line is all those cartridges can be fired out of any firearm that is rated for 45 Super. Some guns come from the factory ready to go for 45 Super, other ones you have to change around the springs and this and that to make them be able to take the cartridge just a little bit higher pressure. It puts a little bit more wear and tear on the gun, so you have to make sure that the gun has the right springs in it so it doesn't beat itself up. So as far as I know, DoubleTap is one of the only companies, if not the only company, where you can find 450 SMC specifically, unless you're gonna load it yourself, but even the brass is almost impossible to find. So this 230 grain jacketed hollow point, it's a bonded defense, which is pretty much meaning something like a gold dot, if not a gold dot, is listed to go 1130 feet per second out of a 5-inch barrel. We just happen to have a 5-inch 1911 barrel. But that is one mean looking bullet. It looks like it's made to handle the velocities. We know that the 200 grain bullet is definitely impressive. I'm sure this one won't disappoint either. We're gonna put 5 rounds through this B8 target and check the velocity. Then we're going to move the chronograph to in front of the gel to catch the velocity of the bullet as it actually goes into the gel. And we have two 20-inch, 10% clear ballistics gel blocks lined up for a total of 40 inches of gel. I'm sure that'll catch it. Testing explained, let's get to shooting. All right, about 15 feet off the chronograph, 20 feet off that target, Remington R1 1911, 5-inch. Let's see how we do. .1104. .1135, that was on the X. .1118. .1113. And 1141. Let's take a look. That was my first shot right there. The rest of them grouped in here really nice. I like that, that's awesome. It is a little stout in the hand, but it's manageable. You gotta remember that's a little increased velocity. There's definitely more powder in there. It's not any kind of a joke, that cartridge, but it is handleable. And like I always have to explain, I don't do my testing for accuracy off of a rest, off a table or a bench, anything like that. We do it offhand because this is practical accuracy testing in real life in a defensive situation, and this is defensive type ammo. You would not have any of those luxuries. All right, 15 feet off that gel block. Let's see how hard we can smack it. .1167. .1167. All right, there's our entrance. Coming around to the side, we made it a total of 10 inches. I can tell you that right now, maybe just a touch more. Just a typical jacketed hollow point looking wound. The slow motion is going to be where it's at as far as more information on what it actually does in its temporary wound cavity, but the permanent wound cavity looks nice. It does what jacketed hollow point things do. I can see that that round definitely opened up very well, like a gold dot type of round definitely does. The bonded round, I can barely talk, but you can see it's opened up like a star. Let's come in from the top. Coming in from the top, you see basically the same thing. Bullet comes to rest, opened up really nice, and yeah, halfway through that block almost. No, it actually is halfway through the block. Half of 20 is 10, so yep, directly halfway through that block. You gotta remember that we don't use 16-inch blocks. The FBI blocks, we use the shooter blocks. Those are 20 inches. Upon digging that thing out of there, you can see it pedaled back, clawed back pretty nice. Like I said, that is a gold dot projectile. In my opinion, it could be something different, but gold dots leave this little gold dot in the middle. That thing's pretty nasty, pretty gnarly looking. Something made it close in on itself on one side, but not the other. Just something to do with the way it ended up finally going straight. Probably ended up pushing that closed a little bit like that, maybe. But the bottom line is that's really big diameter there, and I'm sure it retained just about 100% of its weight. It actually looks really cool the way it did that. It curled in half of itself and then opened up the other half. So like always, we got some information. That's definitely a good amount of foot-pounds. You see what it can do on the slow motion, and you saw the end result in the gel. You see that it's really darn accurate, at least out of a 1911. No matter what, the hotter 45s, the 450 SMC and the 45 Super, 460 Roland, things like that, those things are definitely butt whoopers. I like them a lot. Let me know in the comments what you think about 45, the hot 45s, and this round in general. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy these type of videos. Thank you for watching this video, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.